Good afternoon. I'm Mark Utendorf. I'm the Corn Product Development Manager for Seedway. We're here again today, November 13th, 2024 at the Hall Corn Demo Plot. This afternoon I'd like to talk a little bit about my experiences with tar spot in 2024. Over the past several seasons I've been kind of traveling the Northeast in our market area and trying to find tar spot. This was the first year that I'd say we hit pay dirt, good or bad, but we're able to make some ratings on our product line for tar spot here in our home backyard here. So tar spot's been around in the United States since about 2015. I believe there were 2 years, 2018 and 2021, where it was somewhat serious. That was out in the Midwest, and it actually caused some economic damage, reduced yields, and even some standability problems. It's something that's you need to be aware of for the future. Tar spot, like any other disease, needs 3 things to be a problem. You have to have a host, which would be the corn plant. You have to have a pathogen, which would be tar spot, and then you have to have the right environment. And for tar spot, it likes cooler temperatures, maybe 60 to 70 degrees, high humidity, fog, a dew that hangs on later into the mornings and whatever. It's been more of a problem probably in northern Indiana and Michigan. And I saw that this year when I went out and made some ratings out there. But things that go on in Michigan seem to translate over to New York at some point. We're on the same latitude, and kind of that cooler temperature and more humidity seems to be characteristic of a lot of New York State. So it hasn't been a major problem in the past, and I don't say that it was a major problem this year, but it looks like it has the potential to be a problem going forward. I found several hot spots in my travels this year. I'd say northwestern Pennsylvania was probably the worst, up around Erie there. Central Pennsylvania around Williamsport was another hot spot. I did see it in southeast Pennsylvania, western Pennsylvania, and scattered across central and western New York. But I wouldn't say any of that was serious, other than a couple of hot spots that I already mentioned there. So obviously it's good to have resistance, if you can get it, to diseases. That's not always possible. Fungicides are another option if you don't have resistance with the hybrids. So that's something that you can explore if you don't have resistance available to you. The one thing that we were able to accomplish this year, we did add 8 new PowerCore Enlist products to our product line. And I would say the majority of them are all showing superior resistance to tar spot. It wasn't by design, but that's kind of how it ended up. So we've got ratings on those products, and they seem to be floating to the top across the maturity range from 89 days up to 114 days, if that's what you're looking for. Tar spot, it's kind of hard to rate when you're out in the field looking at the plants, and that's for a couple of reasons. One is sometimes you have more than one disease on the plant. You could have gray leaf spot, northern leaf blight, and tar spot all on the same plant at the same time, and it's kind of hard to sort out what's going on there. But I did my best to rate them. The other complication I would say is the maturity of the hybrid can cause some noise in your ratings. Depends on when the disease came in, and depends on the maturity of the plant. Sometimes the earlier hybrids can be more susceptible or more resistant, or sometimes the later hybrids can be more susceptible or more resistant. It just depends on timing. So sometimes you get some false positives, I would say, and the ratings aren't necessarily reality. So looking at that over many locations is very helpful. Our goal is to continue to look for hybrids that have good tar spot resistance. Now, just because we say that they have good resistance doesn't mean it's not going to get it. What I've seen this past season is it's more of a delayed response. If I go out there in September, I can see differences. And the hybrids that are able to fend it off longer, we have better ratings for. But if I go back later in the fall to those same plots and look at them, sometimes they all look the same. But if they have some resistance, they're able to fend off the disease longer, and you keep more green tissue alive longer, so you're not affecting your yield and standability. And that's kind of what I've learned this year. It's going to be, a learning curve here going forward, but I'd say we have the inoculum in the Northeast now. It's not something to, make your every buying decision based on tar spot resistance. You still need to keep in mind, yield, standability. But if you're really concerned that you're going to have a problem with it, we do have options here that you can select from.